It's beer o'clock on Reload Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Lost and Found. It's a can of their ABL. It's a 6.4% ABV. I'm gonna say IPA. It's called, I like the sound of this, R21 64-bit IPA. If you're from my generation, you'll understand 64-bit. Thank you very much to Sam Goodwill for sending me the beer. Let's get the beer out into a glass and see what we get. Ooh. Beer in the glass then. We'll get back to that whole 64-bit thing in a moment. Beer in a glass. We've got a 2-finger whitehead, good levels of carbonation. It's a hazy amber coloured ale. That looks absolutely terrific. That looks like Lost and Found's version of a New England IPA. That looks terrific, and I got a funny feeling, only from just having a little bit of a whiff of the beer from a distance, it could very well be along with that style. I know it's got oats in the beer. Quite a big earthy note to it. Earthy and bready and biscuity, but lots of American hops as well. I say American hops. Pilgrim, Mosaic, Equinox, Idaho, Eldorado. So yeah, there's some American hops in here. It's also quite earthy. There's something quite unusual about the aroma as well. I'm going to hold my breath on this one, and I'm going to taste it and give you my verdict. Here we go. Cheers. It doesn't seem to know what it wants to do. It's a bit soapy. It's a bit of a shame, if I'm honest. I got quite excited by the whole 64-bit thing. I will still get to that in a moment. The first thing was the aroma. It was something in the aroma. There's an off flavour. There's a definite off flavour in the aroma, and then when that happens, it's not diacetyl. It's not diacetyl. But it just makes you go, ooh, ooh. And then it puts you on the back foot. And then you're like, what am I tasting? And I don't like to jump in. I generally know when there's a problem with a beer. But I'd rather, I don't really give a verdict on the aroma if there's something that is not right. I'd rather smell it and taste it to give, only to be fair to the brewery, I suppose. It's a tough one. It doesn't seem to know what it wants to do. They've wanted it to go in a certain direction, and then it decided it didn't want to go through the door. So it kind of just held onto the door frame and was like, I'm not going in, and they kind of like pushing it from behind. And there's something not quite. Let's get some more of the beer in the... I want to be as fair as possible. I really do. It's a can conditioned beer. You can see the yeast floating around in the bottom of the glass there. It looks, in all the world, it looks like a New England IPA. I was so excited by this beer. The look is terrific. It's exactly what you want from a beer from 2018. It's just the flavour. It's just the flavour is. It's too earthy. It's really, really earthy. It's really biscuity. It's really bready. There's nowhere near enough dry hopping on the back end if they wanted to make this beer. It's just not hoppy enough to begin with. Even they've managed. They've tried their hand here at a New England IPA, I think. So they've managed to get that part right where it's not bitter on the back end. But yeah, they've ticked that box, but there's no great rush of aroma. There's no great, you know, like you got a really good New England IPA where it's really kind of, it's booming in your face, the aromas and the taste, and it's juicy, and it's nowhere near juicy enough. It's like a hazy, pardon me, earthy best bitter. You get the creaminess from the oats. It's all there. Perhaps I'm trying to be as generous as I can for the brewery here. Perhaps they had a problem with the dry hopping. Perhaps something along the line something went amiss. But it's nowhere near what it wants to be. I'm going to be quick with this whole. I'm not excited enough anymore to talk too much about this whole 64-bit thing. Because the beer review's fallen flat, because the beer's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So 64-bit was the Nintendo 64, of course, and the Sega Saturn. That's going back to that era of computing, that computer game era, which I was a part of. I was a part of that. Unfiltered vegan product, retains some natural haze. lostandfoundbrewery.com. It's 55 IBUs. Nah, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It might be just a can. I don't know. They might be maybe not sealed properly, but then it would be off. I don't. It was carbonated, and it's just so. Maybe it's just the batch. Maybe it's just the batch. But R21 64-bit IPA by Lost and Found Brewery. No, I'm gonna give it a very, very poor 3. It's a 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 for Reload Craft Beer. I'm sorry, this was sent by Sam Goodwell. I'm sorry, Sam, you sent me the beer. Cost you money out your own pocket. I do appreciate it, but I have to give my honest opinion on beers. Simply put, other people won't watch. If I start giving beer reviews crazy ratings and I don't like the beer, then people are going to turn away. They're going to watch somebody else. So I'm sorry about that, Sam. I know you sent me the beer, but yeah, 3 out of 10. Thanks for putting the comments in the comments box. Please put the comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. And cheers.